My favorite member of the Goats Discord is... Hey, what's going on, guys? It's here back again with another video. And today, roughly about a week ago, I asked you guys to ask me some questions, see what you guys were doing. I haven't filmed it in a while. We're going through a move. As you guys see, the background's completely changed. But I feel like I'm officially kind of settled in, and it's all set up. So yeah, I'm just going to jump right into the questions. So starting on YouTube, we've got 92 comments, which is quite a bit for the video having 2,000 views. Obviously I didn't have any gameplay in the background. I kind of just uploaded a 30-minute sketch. Just moved in at that point and wanted to start off the year with something that you guys might enjoy. So Luke Chung asks, how do you maintain your grades while being a CR pro? This is obviously something that I've had to deal with for a while. Ever since, middle school, I was always playing games. Even in elementary school, I was a competitive chess player. At my highest in, 5th grade, or 6th grade, I was 73rd. No, in the highest in 8th grade, I was 73rd in the country for my age range. So I was always competing. I was always kind of balancing that with school. So ever since I could think of, I was always balancing something with school. But it's really just about time management and saying, okay, look, I could compete in this tournament, but I've got a big test tomorrow. I'd rather get some sleep or do some extra studying, and just kind of being, aware of what courses you're taking, being communicative with teachers, and all that stuff. Powell something Polish asks, how do you become a Clash Royale player and how do you get noticed? Now, I got noticed through 15Ks way back when, in summer of 2016. A bunch of friends and I, we were always very competitive. I was able to join one of the top clans at the time for competition just because of how many cards I had won. And then with that, I practiced with them, all that stuff. The way I actually got noticed by people like sponsors like Synergy Gaming originally and Nova Esports was by I competed in an online qualifier for a tournament. I got second in that qualifier, but the first guy couldn't go, so they flew me out to Toronto, and I got second at the LAN event. And ever since then, it's kind of just been history. Gummax Gaming asks, how did your parents allow you to spend money on this game? Hashtag dedicated family. Well, I'd always kind of been a little bit of an entrepreneur. Back when I was 12, I got my first job as a sailing teacher, and I also ran my own little chess business where I was teaching chess for maybe like $15 an hour. So I was always fairly well off for my age, and not just because people were giving me money. I actually earned it, and I never really spent it either. So once I got to Northern Arena, I won $2,000 as a check in the background. I was able to invest in a PC and be able to get my streaming set up and all that. So all the money has really been money that I've made, not money that's kind of been handed down to me. So I think with that, my parents were like, look, it's your money. You can do whatever you do as long as you maintain school and all that stuff. Powell also asks, how do you get better at that game if your cards aren't maxed so you can't practice ladder because you face overlevel noobs, blah, blah, blah. The way I really got better at the game was just watching. Back when TV Royale was only top 200 games, I would literally watch every TV Royale game. I would always watch the top contenders in 15Ks, I would study their decks, and I would try to predict their plays. So I'd be like, look, okay, so he's got this deck, I think he's going to make this play, and then, most of the time I was actually pretty right, I was pretty spot on, but if I wasn't, I'd be like, why did he make that play, and really just try to think it through, just try to understand the game. Alright, Hamza Osama asks, thoughts on the future of Clash Royale? I think Clash Royale is really going up. After CRL, even though the production wasn't that great, to be honest, the fact that Supercell is kind of condensing all the pro and most known players in the game into one big league, and they're just trying to kind of mainstream the game instead of having these, smaller tournaments where only a handful of players actually get in. I think the future's looking really bright. Okay, the official SEAL team asks, if you drop soap on the ground, is the soap dirty or the ground clean? I think the bottom of the soap would be dirty. Like, in order to actually clean the ground, you have to, scrub it all around, and just having one little patch of maybe clean floor, I don't think qualifies as just clean ground. So, what is your favorite deck? Asked Ion Akarwal. My favorite deck is probably 2.6. I've got the most history with it. I helped build it with Sushi Pepe way back in the day. And I've always just loved how fast-paced it was, how aggressive you can be with it. And it's pretty much viable in every meta, so yeah, 2.6. Stephen Joe asks, is level 11 Dark Goblin better, or are level 12 Spear Goblins better? I use more debate in the 5,000 trophy range, and I'm conflicted on which card to use. I would recommend Dark Goblin. I think especially at the 5K trophy range, you're not playing against the best players. You know, maybe they're just casual players. I mean, obviously they got some talent and they have a lot of dedication to be able to get to that trophy range, but they're maybe, you know, playing off of work breaks or something. And Dark Goblin's really a punishing card, you know. You can punish people with the bridge with it if they're not, you know, paying attention as well. You can get a lot of value out of it. So I would use level up in Dark Goblin. I also just find it more fun. Silver Seahawk asks, what are some of your goals for 2019? I just want to get better at the game, honestly. I think I have a lot of goals as to, you know, growing my channel, maybe start streaming more consistently, obviously graduate high school and manage the end of the school year and stuff like that. But I think the main goal is just get better at the game and just give myself the opportunity to maybe be one of the best players in the game. Alright, I Am Dewek asks, can free-to-play players still go up against some pro players like you? I think so. A lot of people play GCs, a lot of pros do. I mean, free-to-play GCs kind of doesn't really correlate well, but when I practice in GCs, I've played a lot of pro players, surprisingly. I think the best way to play pro players right now is the global tournament. Obviously, you're not going to get matched, but like the last one I played Nova won Alex, sorry, not Nova. I played the Boss A, but a lot of other pro players, and I feel like there's some really good practice in there. Alright, Tree Battery asks, based on other comments, it seems like you are in school. What are your favorite classes and subjects? I've always loved math. Right now I'm in BC Calculus and I've been really enjoying that class. It's obviously a pretty tough class, and especially as I kind of taught myself the first quarter of the year because my tutor in LA just had no clue what was going on. But yeah, I've always enjoyed math. I'm in Latin 5 as well right now, which is a great teacher and it's a really fun class. I guess just other classes I'm taking English 12, taking AP Economics, and I took an entrepreneurship course and a marketing course. So yeah, I don't know. Next Light Pro asks, how did you get the $2,000 check in the background? Yeah, that was back to Northern Arena. That was the first tournament I went to, and obviously I did fairly well. I got second place, so yeah, I just kept it with me. Nilsuke Skills asks, favorite actor, actress, and movie, question mark? I don't really have a favorite actor or actress. I really don't know that many. I mean, obviously I know the big ones like Leonardo DiCaprio and all the kind of stereotypical ones. I guess if I had to say a favorite actor, it would be Tom Hanks, just because Forrest Gump was funny. But yeah, I'm really not that much of a movie person. Iago Gomez asks, ¿Cuándo vienes para España? I want to visit Spain. I think Spain's always been really cool. I've always wanted to see Madrid and all that stuff. Pero cuando? I don't know. Hopefully soon. Spain's really cool. I don't know. Maybe for CR? That would be dope. I don't know. Melissa Parkinson asks, do you think you can get a career out of Clash Royale? Yeah, I do, honestly. With energy as it is right now, I basically just play the game and I don't really have to worry about most of the external stuff such as housing and all that stuff. And with that, you know, situation, with that kind of balance of who's managing what, there really is a future, honestly. You know, if I just keep improving, keep making content, keep, you know, doing well with school, and then, you know, once college and stuff is all kind of set out, and planning on taking a gap year, and then using that one gap year to kind of see how well CR goes. And depending on that, yeah, it could be a career. Yeah, 100%. Broken Dinosaur asks, do you like algebra? If so, answer this problem. 2x squared, 6x squared plus 2m plus 3x plus 7 equals 0. M equals what? Question has a unique solution. So, m equals -3. Boom, easy. I think having life as a gamer is satisfying. Do you think you could have done more to your life if you had chosen anything else? Honestly, yeah, it's been very satisfying. I mean, I think the biggest thing with anything is you enjoy it. I did chess competitively, as I mentioned, for years, and I really enjoyed that, but I got burnt out, so I chose to take another path, and it's led me to where I am right now. And, you know, as long as I keep enjoying it, keep having fun, keep building these relationships, you know, with other pro players, I don't see a reason to stop, you know? It's very satisfying. Fabian Guajardo asked, did you notice your voice change to your videos? Yes, if you go back to one of my first videos, where I sound 10, now I maybe sound like 15, so I'm still kind of working my way up to my age, but, you know, we'll get there. Final Lopez trash? What do you mean, bro? Okay. A Desks asks, thoughts about a new heal that would only be 1 elixir? Well, now that we've had it in the game, I think it's fun. I don't really think it changes much, so I don't really see it as causing a lot of harm. So, you know, kind of indifferent. Eccentric asks, what other games do you play and how good are you at them? I've always been a gamer my whole life, and mainly PC games. I've played a lot of CSGO, I've played some Overwatch, I've obviously tried Fortnite, haven't played that much recently, but I was pretty good at one point. I would get maybe like 5-10 kills per game and normally win. Pong that asks, do you intend to play other games on other platforms, for example, games on the Nintendo Switch? Actually, yeah, I just got a Switch for Christmas. My brother's had one for a while, and I've always wanted one for travel. The new Smash game coming out, I used to play a lot of Melee. I always wanted it, so yeah. I don't know if I'll make any content out of it, but I've definitely been enjoying that. Jacob Rubio asked, do you think it's possible to become a top player without spending money on the game? I think it's a lot harder now than it used to be, because it's a lot harder to get noticed. But if you have like level 9 cards, you work way up, and then you do really well in a global tournament, and you maybe do it more than once, yeah, and you could be considered a top player, teams will reach out, and boom, you're set. I'm Stained asks, what's your favorite fast food restaurant? Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A or Five Guys or Chick-fil-A. Eddie Raikio asks, who is the best player in CR in your opinion? Either Ruben or maybe Canario. I don't know, probably Ruben. Ruben's insane. Forrest Scorpy asks, what are some of the most underrated cards in the game? Fire Spirits are highly underrated, and Bats. Bats, if like, they're super versatile, right? And if your opponents don't have like a Zap or a Snowball or something that can deal with Bats, they will single-handedly just counter their whole deck. And that kind of ability to say, look, I have one Psycho card that can beat your whole deck is it's insane. Mr. Arnone asks, what is your age? Well, 17, but I've gotten that question a lot. And more importantly, in which standard do you read? I think he means standard is in level. And it's actually kind of funny ask that, because I am actually dyslexic. Not many people know that, and I really don't read very much. I used to listen to a lot of books on Audible, and for the most part I try to get around reading, focus on more math-based subjects. As I mentioned my course list earlier, it's very kind of math and business heavy in that sense. I don't know, not a very good reader. Oh well. Alright, the last YouTube question I'm going to answer is from Metro Young. He says, if you could create a new card in the game, what would it be and what would you name it? I would create a new mechanic, and the new mechanic would be, I think this would be really interesting. I would create like a sinkhole type card, where for like a specific radius, it's not like a freeze, you could play a card, you could play the sinkhole on it, cards would fall into the map, and once they're in the map, nothing could hit them, but things walking up will fall into it as well. So kind of everything will just be super clumped up, and you know, maybe for the last second, if there are a bunch of cards on your tower, you know, or like a golem on your tower, and like a mini P.E.K.K.A, you drop the sinkhole on it, and then boom, they all fall into the ground, and they come up maybe a few seconds later. I think it'd be really cool. It wouldn't be like freeze, because troops couldn't attack it while doing it, and it wouldn't work on air troops, and it wouldn't work on towers, obviously. I think that'd be really interesting. I think that'd be fun. Alright, so moving on, we have the Twitter questions. I'm very excited about these. I think we got maybe like 30 or 40. So you got a lot of questions overall, which I was pretty surprised at, but let's just jump right into it. Yeah, we got 41 questions. LK asks, what happened with the neighbors after the scrim and swim? What we did at the beginning. So if you got, most of you guys don't know the story, but when we were in LA, we had an absolutely insane neighbor. So we had a backyard, right? And apparently the rule was no parties after 10, whatever, because it's a pretty urban neighborhood and most people have worked. So sure, fine, you know, unless it's on the weekends. But this neighbor was insane. So Chief J, right, he had a phone call. He was on a phone call outside, like at 10:30. Just like he wanted to get out of the house to make the phone call. He was talking to family or something. And he was just talking like just